with the pro and the hack.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's the pro, Mr. Moso here, and the hack. That would be me, Rich Gilgalan, the coach. It's great to be with you today. We are so thrilled today to have one of the great PGA players, a two-time major champion, 10-time winner on tour, many wins on the champion tour champions, and Southern California's own, the pride of USC, the one and only Dave Stockton is with us today. Dave, how are you, sir?
Doing great, guys. A little warm, but this winter weather, I guess we have global warming.
Well, yeah, I mean, it might be warm where you are. We're in the Coachella Valley, baby, where it's not warm. It's blistering already here. It's a pleasure to have you on here. And one of the things we want to start with is this new product that you're talking about, this incredible golf ball. Tell us about it.
Well, they debuted it at the show. It's called the Genius Ball, which they're going to change the name because of legal restrictions or whatever. But it's a ball that has a computer in it, and it's used to teach putting and stuff. And I've learned more since the PGA show in late January than I ever have about putting, just by having a response by rolling a putt. It's giving you like 15 different metrics, but there's a lot more than what I need. But as far as teaching people and explaining to them, what their true role on a golf ball is, it's like having a track man with you and a golf ball on a putting green.
And this is just something where you would download an app. Is that correct?
Yes, you download an app to your phone, and it's unbelievable what they're going to price it at. But it's basically, Ronnie has been one of the three engineers that's worked on it. The other two, they went all around the world. I mean, the one engineer is out of Belgium, and the other is out of Winnipeg, Canada. And we had Ronnie and the other two guys at the show, and they'd have somebody putt the ball, and they putt a 10 or 12 footer, and they know the stamp speed of the green. They know how fast they got the ball rolling, and because when you touch a putt, you hit it. Most people say hit, I say roll, but when you touch a ball, it's going to come out of its hole that it's in, hop, and then it's going to skid for a while, and then it's going to start rolling. And once it starts rolling, you get a true roll generally. And what we found is that most people have no idea what causes a good roll. I mean, personally, I'm finding out what loft plays a part of it, but also what kind of substance you have for an insert or no insert in a putter. It makes a huge difference. And the response from the people, but then if somebody actually, if you looked on your phone, you want to get a high minus number as far as roll. The higher the minus number you get, the shorter the distance the ball hops and then rolls or skids and then starts rolling. But most people are between plus 40, maybe even plus 50, and they have a hard time getting in the minus where, I mean, I can roll one and I can hit 200, minus 200, meaning my ball goes less than a couple of inches. So you had no way of looking at somebody and trying to get them to roll the ball better, and because the ball couldn't talk to us. The way the TrackMan on a long shot, I mean, they have all the things, but this ball is even better because it gives you continual speed as the ball's rolling, and you come out with let's say a minus 40 or 50. If you're a good putter in the ball, you're going to roll it. And a bad putter, as they would get somebody within a plus, I just walk over to the side with them, and maybe their weight was too far back on their heels, which a lot of people like to do. A lot of people like to come up on the putt and hit it. They don't hit it solid, and they make it bounce. And so there's a lot of things involved in teaching good putting to people, one of which is you don't hit a putt. If you're accelerating into that ball can go anywhere. And in reality, I had one gentleman, I don't even know where he's from, I think it was Upper New York, but he was saying he teaches decelling when he putts, and I've never heard that term related to putting in my life. And I checked my own. I tend to take it back a little farther than most people. And I have a very smooth, I'm not trying to accelerate into the ball. I'm trying to just like a paintbrush stroke. And these people can see their numbers with their putter. Let's say they get to a minus 10. And I said, okay, and they'll say to me, well, you putt one with my putter. Let's see what you get. And I'll roll at a minus 165 or 170 or whatever it might be. And it's not even close. And they realize that a quicker way to become a good putter is to develop a roll on the ball, which has to have some type of overspin to it, not backspin. And we'll be doing this same broadcast next year because they're going to debut the ball they're going to use with wedges to teach you how to put backspin on a ball. Where
Oh,
with
wow.
this putter, you want to have topspin.
Sure.
Well,
Unbelievable.
putting is voodoo anyway, Dave. I mean, that's what drives all the amateur golfers crazy. I just played in the member guest here at Mission Hills, and I can't tell you under a tournament pressure for an amateur, how many 4-footers are not made. It really is amazing.
Well, part of that is they're used to playing with their friends and they give them to them.
That's exactly right.
Well, we all know in junior golf, and you used to play against people and you're playing match play, you might give them one or two early on, and then you stand fairly close to them on one you don't intend to give them. And they're
Yeah.
waiting to hear that's good from you, and they're mad that you don't give it to them, and generally they'll whiff it. It's there's nothing guaranteed about a short putt, but it's but there are ways to combat that. And this ball, I had two pros out teaching them today, working with them, trying to get them to roll the ball better, but at least understand, teaching other guys and gals how the roll of the ball affects the distance. Well, for instance, one of the key things is most people, when they started on this ball, they basically said, let's first thing we want is get the ball started on line. And both Ronnie and I said, that's not right. You want to have the right pace. That will give you what the right line is.
Mm-hmm.
And so pace becomes more important than the line. And I mean, I've been on both sides of the equation. I mean, I set the record. Basically, I went 900 and almost 90 holes. I think it was 987 holes out of 3-putt in competition. But then I hit Pebble Beach in the 36 holes I was there at Pebble in the early 70s.
Yeah.
I had 10 3-putts and a 4-putt in 36 holes after almost going to that 1,000. So, I mean, I know the feeling. And the worst feeling was the 4-putt was on number 10, which is one of the flattest greens on Pebble Beach. And I couldn't get it to stop by the hole.
Unreal.
Well, it's interesting because when you have a 2-man game, for example, and the guy says to his partner, what's the break? Well, you can't really give an answer unless you know how hard he's going to hit it. Isn't that true?
That's exactly right. Precisely. That's why you can't tell them what line to take. And, I know that I'm going to go about 10 inches past the hole every single time. I don't care if it's a 2-footer. I'm not hitting it in any harder or anything, but I'm rolling the ball. And because I have that speed, first of all, people have to understand the harder you hit a putt, the smaller the hole becomes because it'll tend to lip out. If you have the correct speed, it's only going to go, if you're coming in from the high side and the ball's going to go 10 inches past, it has a good chance of maybe hitting something and falling in, or it's going to spin its way in. But if you're hard, it'll have a really good chance. You saw it at the Players Championship. A lot of those guys last week, those greens were like putting on a pool table,
Right.
and you couldn't get the ball stopped.
Dave Stockton is our guest today, one of the great golfers in the history of the PGA Tour, if you ask me, and a 2-time PGA champion. And can we take you for a minute back in time a little bit to 1970, where you were the only player at Southern Hills under par, winning that tournament. You had Arnold Palmer breathing right down your neck. What was that feeling like, Dave?
That was a very interesting week. My dad had me read Psycho-Cybernetics, and I finished it the week before. And I took 2 things out of the book because it was very dry to read. It was hard to read, but I yellow lined what was important, and I took out the fact that I had to be aggressive. And the other thing is I had to, before I played, I had to picture that I'd already won the tournament. So I arrived and played my first practice round at Southern Hills on that Monday early. I was the first one on the course at 7:00. And I'm looking at people and they have no idea I'm about to win this tournament. And I spent all that week thinking that that's what I was going to do. Now, my wife, Kathy, was pregnant at that time with Ronnie, and she had him exactly 30 days later on September 16th. But all she saw was the parking lot in the clubhouse. And so we came into the 18th hole. I made about a 12 or 13 footer to make a par on 17 to retain a 3-shot lead. And I just killed this drive on 18. It's the only time all day I outdrove Palmer. and it was surreal because he hit it on the green, and I took out a 9-iron when I had about 160 yards or something, and laid it up the right of the green. And class act that Arnold was, he just gave me a thumbs up after I hit it about 20 yards to the right of the green because
Yeah.
he knew he had no chance. And meanwhile, my poor wife had been in the clubhouse because the drama behind the whole thing is that if Arnold won, that completed his Grand Slam.
Yes.
And
Uh,
I kidded McElroy last year. I said, "You just can thank me that you're not the 7th person to win the Grand Slam." And he got 6 because Arnold should have got that one. Arnold was snake bit. Boris beat him in '68 in San Antonio, and then I got him in '70. But it was an unbelievable moment because if I win, I win my first major. If he wins, he wins the Grand Slam. And my wife's sitting there watching everybody in the clubhouse except for her, rooting for Arnold to get the Grand Slam.
Isn't
And,
that something?
it was one of my best accomplishments because nobody gave me that tournament. That tournament I went out and won, and it's just set me up. I mean, it was the dumb part being on tour and a rookie, starting in '66. Basically, I I was one of the ones that helped pass the rule that PGA champions don't get a lifetime like Geiberger did.
Yeah.
4 years ahead of me, he had a lifetime. Well, I got 10 years. And then
Yeah.
I went, of course, in '76, I went to Congressional during our bicentennial year.
Yes.
And now I asked the PGA, I said, well, do I get,
Another
lifetime
10?
here? No, all you get is another 10 years. So hell, I won it twice and got 20 years. So
Man, I saw you cashed a $40,000 check for that first win.
Yeah. Yeah, and I noticed Cameron Young just got 4.5 million.
yeah, isn't that something?
I think golf is
Unbelievable.
That's-
Arnold came in second to you in '70, and so did Bob Murphy. And Moso and I were just talking about what an amazing golf swing Murphy had. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, Murphy was he was interesting. I mean, that was out of our era, obviously. He had a really good swing. He was a pool player by heart, and he was a hustler. I mean, he could flat do anything. He had the weirdest putting I ever seen, and because of his optic with his eyes. I mean, he had the ball probably 2 feet away from him, but yeah, he was our era. We're not built like the guys nowadays. They're a hell of a lot better shape than we were. I think the caddies now are in better shape than in those days. Tiger hadn't come along. Of course, Nicklaus was a transformation from being big to being really in great shape too. But we had a fun time of golf. I think the '70s, late '60s, early '70s was perfect for me. We still played with the Hogans and the Byron Nelsons to start with, and then by the time we get through, we get Watson and Trevino and
Yeah.
all the other ones that you could throw in there. And
Well, the
now
leaderboard. The
Yeah,
leaderboard was unbelievable. You had Palmer, you had Littler, you had Crampton, you had Jack, you had Ray Floyd.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
those
there
are
was
the names.
there was a lot of guys. We had a guy that won't be in the Hall of Fame that should be, and that's George Archer, who
Absolutely.
won more times than I did, won Masters, and yet he read and wrote at a second grade level. He was totally illiterate, and
Wow.
nobody knew it. None of us until after he passed away. And I wish somebody in the Hall of Fame would get some headsets on and realize that Archer fought 2 battles. For him to win over 30 professional tournaments and not be in the Hall of Fame, it's a disgrace because he fought a very serious illness thanks to his wife Donna, how the two of them as a unit. It's just sometimes people don't get it that deserve it. And he certainly deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, we're looking at one right now who should be in the Hall of Fame, if you ask me. I'll throw that in there for you there.
Well, I haven't figured that out because they've got teachers in the Hall of Fame and they got players in the Hall of Fame, but I kind of done both. I know I'm a better teacher than I was a player, and I was not a bad player.
No. Oh, let me move you up now, if I could, to Congressional. I lived in Washington D.C. Had the pleasure of playing that course, and what a golf course that is. Now, when you won, you were I think +1, right? Won that tournament. That course was brutal in those days.
Yes, it was. Yeah, they've eliminated most of the trees. That was totally opposite to my win in Southern Hills against Palmer. because that nobody had a chance there in my mind. I played really, really good. That was not the case at Congressional. I spent all day at the White House with my good friend, President Ford. We had our nanny, we had Kathy and I, and both the boys. We toured every room in the White House, and
Wow.
it was unbelievable because I had no intention of winning that tournament. It wasn't like I went into Southern Hills thinking I was going to win, because I was just, I was one of many, and I'm just kind of plodding along. And on Sunday, which should have been the last round, I'm 3 over par after 5 holes,
Ooh.
and they rained the entire round out.
Yeah,
And the
they
next
washed
night,
out. They washed that whole round out, and you started fresh on Monday. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. Where I was 3 over, I was now 2 under through the first 5, and I ended up winning by 1 shot. And that's where, I had an American Airlines outing that day, very near Congressional. In fact, I got 2 for 1, because after I won, I took the trophy and went over there, and I still got my fee for being there. I was only there for a couple of hours, but I came down, and that's where I won. I was playing so brilliantly. I hit the 11th fairway. And the next fairway I could possibly hit was 18. So I hit a 3-wood off the tee because I was getting tired of being in the rough every hole with a 1-shot lead.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't get to the green with the water. So I laid up and had 60 yards and hit it to 15 foot. And I could hear all the people running through what then was a bunch of trees to the right of the green, going to where the playoff was going to start. Because if I miss this 15-footer, I got to have January and Raymond Floyd to do it with.
Yeah.
And, I drained it. That was 5 feet from the hole. I knew it was dead center. I didn't even see it go in. I turned around, not facing the people to the left, with my arms raised, because I knew right where it was going.
Wow.
Oh, no.
And the normal play on that course is the par 3 is 18, but they finish you guys on that beautiful 17th hole, which is a very dramatic par 4.
Well, but now they've changed it, because now the 10th hole is not the real hard par 4. It's the par 3 over water, and they do finish on that same 18th hole now.
Yeah.
Because now when Rory won, and he had 210 yards on this par 3, number 10. We played our 15th hole was off the other course, and
Right.
that was it's amazing how stories go. But that was the one hole I had a top flight that I could hit with a 3-iron. I hit my 3-iron 190, and I could hit this top flight 230, and that hole was 235. And so I didn't want to hit a 3-wood at it with all the pressure. So I hit my 3-iron. Now I've got a top flight on the green 4 days in a row, but I'm trying to putt a ball bearing. That was
a top rock.
That was I'm very proud that I four times I 2-putted that hole after knocking it on the green. But I won the tournament. I thought about it afterwards. Southern Hills, I was so proud because I really did win that tournament. And this one, there had to be 20 people shooting themselves because I had no business winning it. It's a long, hard golf course. It didn't favor me whatsoever. And it was great because my first impression was I've won 2 PGAs now. Now I'm going to get to be a Ryder Cup captain, and that's kind of came to the forefront in what my thinking was. It was a good way to end my career. For sure.
Well, not only a Ryder Cup captain, but a Ryder Cup captain at the War on the Shore, which is one of the most exciting Ryder Cups in history. Did you have to use Maalox to get through that thing? Oh my goodness, that was amazing.
No, I lost a little bit of weight. That's for darn sure. But Kathy and I spent a year and a half of our life planning what we're going to do. I had all my psychologically profiled about 15 guys that I thought had a chance to be on the team because I wanted to know how to talk to each one in a language they would understand, so my team would bond together. But it was quite an experience. I'm proud of the fact that I've played in 2 and I've captained that, and I was co-captain 17 years later with Azinger, who I think has done the best job any captain's done in recent memory at Valhalla, and when he beat Faldo and got it back there. So I've been in 4 Ryder Cups, and I've never been on a losing one, which not the streak we're on presently, which is a shame.
What do you think we need to do to try to bring that Ryder Cup back?
I really don't know, and I know I'm going to be asked a lot of questions coming up. I'm going to try to get ready for them. I'm not sure. Now we have Luke Donald on the other side, who's almost like a professional Ryder Cup captain now. He'll be doing it the 3rd time coming up at the Dare Manor next year. but I am appreciative of the fact that the PGA let me do it the one time, because a lot of my good friends, Bobby Nichols for one, Geiberger for another, won the PGA and didn't get to be the captain. And prior to me, I'll ask you guys a question. Prior to me, there had only been two captains at the Ryder Cup for the Americans that had not won the PGA. You know who they are?
Arnold Palmer
Yeah.
and Tom Watson.
Nope.
No,
He hadn't won the PGA.
no. Did Tom win the PGA? No,
Nope.
no.
No,
That-
but the other one that didn't was Casper.
was
Billy Casper. Yeah.
Yeah. So in other words, then all of a sudden they started picking other people to be captain, right? And I don't mind that. I think one guy that got short sheeted on that was Hale Irwin. Would have been an unbelievable Ryder
Oh.
Cup captain. He was a winning President's Cup captain.
Mhm.
He's one that deserved to be a Ryder Cup captain. I honestly don't know. I personally think in my own mind, and I've got to do a lot of more thinking about it, is that I never gave the Europeans any kind of billboard material at Kiawah.
right.
Only to arrive down there and find out that the PGA of America had called it the War by the Shore. And I did not like that at all, because they were all friends. I knew most of the guys on the other team, but it's just you're playing for your country. And it's such a thrill to either be a captain and that you're wearing the red, white, and blue for the country, you know, but it's not a war. And what happened to Keegan Bradley this last year in New York, he did some great stuff. I was disappointed how the course got set up for whatever reason. But what I didn't like is the PGA talking about these unruly fans in New York.
Yes.
So they promptly just lived up to their reputation.
Yes, they
I mean,
did.
it's disgraceful. I was out there with my wife, and that is not what we want to have in golf. I mean, I would help my fellow competitors. I wanted them to play well, and then I wanted to beat them. But you're not wishing ill will against anybody. And so I am really confused about how they're going to go about picking. I did have an in for quite a while after Sutton was in 2004, was the captain up in Michigan
Yeah.
at Oakland Hill, and after that would have been Payne Stewart's spot, and that was the first time. That was 13 years after I was at Kiawah, that they had finally invited the past captains to come back, and there were 8 of them. And they let us go everywhere. And we played an exhibition on Wednesday before the Ryder Cup, raised $500,000 for junior golf and what they support. And it was phenomenal. And on Tuesday night, when we got in there, they asked us, we have 5 people we're thinking about to be captain. We'd like to have your opinion. So, man, they stepped out of the room. It didn't take us 20 seconds. And we all said Larry Nelson should be the next captain. And so somebody in the PGA was blackballing Larry Nelson because he never got it, and it made us sick. He's
Oh,
won
really?
2 PGAs and an Open, and he never became a captain. And Keegan Bradley, in one of the classiest moves I ever saw last year, he had Larry come in as the captain emeritus, and he was in the team room all week, he and Gail. And that's what we need, is people like that to believe in this. I'm sorry I'm going so long in answering your question, but
No.
I personally think even if you're on the losing team, the experience that you gained and getting to bond people together, it's an enormous job. You just can't go out there and say, well, I got the best player in the world, they're going to win. The Europeans, this is, again, you get back to Nicholas and Jacqueline, how smart, especially Jack, and including all the Europeans, because we were handling Great Britain and Ireland. There was no problem, but you had the Europeans, and now we got a fight on our hands. So it's a marvelous experience going on, and we have to do something. They have to change some things. I was disappointed last year myself, and I think most of my fellow captains were, when our team got a whole lot of money to play. In fact, I thought the Monday morning paper, New York took it easy on them, because I thought they're going to show a giant picture of the European hoisting the trophy and said, "We got the trophy and you got the money."
Yeah.
I didn't
Well,
like
I know how important. I know how
that
important
at
it is.
all.
I know how important it is to you guys. I had the opportunity once to play a quick round with Johnny Pott and Tommy Jacobs out here,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
told them, I said, I'm having a hard time breathing on this tee box, boys. And Johnny Pott said to me, Coach, how do you think we felt with Hogan looking over our shoulder?
Right. Sure. I mean, my first Ryder Cup, I was a rookie at Old Warson in St. Louis in '71. And I can remember standing next to the Casper and they're raising the American flag. And I'm going to be going off in the first group with Nicholas, who I have not played any practice rounds with, an alternate shot, which I couldn't believe. But at any rate, and I'm looking at Casper, and they are bawling their eyes out. And I swear to God, when I got on that first tee, it looked like the size of a marble. No, it is something you think you're prepared for. But at Kiawah, oh man, was I ever glad to be the captain, because I'd say, "Go get them, boys." I'm thinking, man, I'm glad I don't have to hit this.
Well, that is some golf course too. That's though. I mean, that's a Pete Dye jewel. That one, Kiawah.
Well, I was supposed to. The Ryder Cup should have been at a Pete Dye jewel, because when I got the captaincy, it was due to be at PGA West, and that's only 45 minutes, 50 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, American Airlines buys in to sponsor the thing, 24-hour television, basically.
Yep.
And now you got to think about how far it is to the, they need to save 3 hours time, so they get much better ratings. So now I get to go down to Pete Dye, and when I saw the course in January, there wasn't a blade of grass on it. I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, that is one of the finest things ever done. Pete was so mad that they didn't play the 14th tee on the par 3 way in the heck back there, but it was unplayable from 50 yards ahead. But Dye still was disappointed that it moved back there.
Oh, amazing. Dave Stockton is our guest here on the Pro and the Hack. What a pleasure to have him here. The 1970 PGA champion at Southern Hills, 1976 champion at Congressional, which is one of the hardest courses I've ever played in my life. Was it bent grass tee to green in those days as it is these days, or?
Yeah, but there are two different styles. I mean, Congressional is just so bloody long, and of course they had rain and it played even longer.
Yeah.
Southern Hills has a little bit of grass issue. Obviously, they get a lot of humidity there and everything else. But that's one of the redos. When Justin Thomas won there in 2022, I thought that was one of the most impressive golf courses. Well, half the trees gone. I had fun with Kathy because I took her out there and walked the golf course. We went 6 or 7 holes, and she turned to me and says, "I thought you were a good golfer, but you're a lot better than I thought you were." It was tough as heck, but that, we're speaking of Cameron Young making $4.5 million, and
Yeah.
and the amount of money these guys play for, and that's how, to me, judge the really good players. And I can start listing my clubs that I've won on between those two, and you can throw in Canterbury and Colonial and Riviera and Firestone, and the one you said I won 10 on the tour. I actually won 11 because I won the Hagen La Costa with Corey Hammer from Florida, whose son just became the USGA president. And that's what I'm proudest of. I mean, big tournaments, and I finished second to Geiberger at Colonial again in the TC. I think it was the third one they ever had. The Players Championship was at Colonial after starting, I think, in Atlanta for a couple of years. But yeah, golf changed, but the influence, and my mind Sunday watching Cameron win that thing was, I liked his demeanor on the 18th hole with his mother behind him as he's lining up his putt to win his match against Justin Rose. And he drained that thing, and there wasn't any rah running around. He actually putted to the hole and looked like he was the guy that thought he was going to make it.
Yeah, he was very calm, wasn't he? No fist pump.
He was same thing as what he showed at Sunday at TPC. That's what I kind of hope the next U.S. Ryder Cup team looks like. Because individuals expect to win. They don't want to play games on anybody. They just want to go out there and play the game they know how to play. I think it's fine.
Well, somebody has to, it has to end. The yelling at the wives and things like that. And the problem is that there's so much resentment, and to a certain extent, rightfully so, by the European team.
Well,
that you just hope it will stop when we go to Europe.
Well, it will stop when we go to Europe. I mean, for the most part, I don't know what happened. I mean, to have Rory McIlroy be thrown at that, he's one of the classiest guys, if not the classiest guys I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
His wife's from New York. I mean, I don't get it. It's like these people try to outdo themselves. I mean, a Phoenix Open comes around once a year, and everybody yells and screams and has a good party, and you're having a bunch of people that aren't golfers out there. Then we play the
Mhm.
Masters and the Players Championship. These tournaments that people know what respect is, and you go by it. But somehow or other, we got this thing wrong, terribly wrong in New York, and that was just didn't leave a good taste in any of our mouths.
Well, you brought up Augusta, and Dave. Well, we have here. Any comments about your experiences there?
Ah, Augusta was the most fun major to play. I would always play Greensboro the week before because it kind of got me in the field for the kind of grasses I was going to. But uh, Augusta is by far the easiest major, and because there's no rough. I'm thinking I was watching those guys, the players last week, and there you couldn't find a grass that high in the state of Georgia. I don't think. I mean, it was unbelievable what they grew
Yeah.
up, right? But the Masters, and especially if you're a long hitter, I mean, I couldn't hardly get on par fives, and I just, I had to plod my way around. But I also knew that it wasn't, there wasn't that much danger as long as you guessed right on 12 with the wind and you didn't hit it left on 11. There are certain places you don't want to go, but I liked it the best. It had great fishing.
Ah,
I won the par three contest there. That's another story. I'm playing and I end up with a three-way playoff with Weiskopf and Orville. We hadn't played very good. I think we were either 22 or 23 were our scores. We get on the first tee. If you never stepped on an 85-yard stand wedge and you got 5,000 people surrounding the green,
yeah.
I turned to Weiskopf and I said, I can't believe it, Tom. I cannot believe it. I'm nervous before the tournament even starts. And he looks at me and he said, you're nervous? And I looked at him and he was serious, right? And I said, oh, okay. Well, he drew first, right? He hit probably one of the strongest shanks I've ever seen. It didn't even threaten any of the people. It went sailing over their heads, dead right.
Yeah.
And he walked by me and said, that's not bad for not being nervous. And look, but at Augusta, now they got the kids out there and they're in their little suits and everything
Yeah.
playing. Rory's daughter, I remember, made a putt from all the way in the back of the green on 9. I mean, it's just the whole week. You get stuff for everything. You make an eagle, you get 2 of the glasses with the date on and what hole it was and everything. And I got 14 of those suckers, so I made
Wow.
seven eagles somewhere down the line, plus the plaque the plate that I got for winning the par 3 has 8 sterling silver tea set. So, I mean, that was a fun week. It was not like the U.S. Open, for instance.
Right.
I never could figure out how Hale Irwin won 3 of those and how I won 2 days. And with the exception of Cherry Hills, I couldn't figure out how to enjoy a U.S. Open because
Interesting.
I didn't like Pebble. And I thought I was going to win Pebble, and I had all those putts. And it was horrible. But the Masters is a great week. I mean, it's phenomenal. They'll move things. I don't believe they've done it. It's like heaven on earth. I tell you what, if once you get to go there, I want to go there the rest of your life, and that's why everything's flying within that tournament.
Amazing.
Just amazing. So getting back kind of to some putting, Dave, what would you really recommend for the amateur golfer as far as getting a putter? What to look at? What are your key thought to try to improve their putting?
Good question. Basically, for starters, you can buy your game now. I mean, there's okay. You got the established ones, timeless putters, tailor-made putters, Callaway putters. LA Lab has now come on this. A lot of great putters. But you want to find a putter that fits your style, and that's where this ball is going to play or whatever you're calling it, because it will tell you because of how let's use Zach Johnson, Ryder Cup captain, use for a putter with negative off, which I got no chance over the negative off putter, and he's one of our best putters. So there's no set way, but a person that's gonna putt, my biggest thing to tell them is that it isn't part of the game. And I think Hogan was always frustrated by that because you don't hit it, you're not releasing your hand necessarily through it, although a lot of people try to get by releasing their hands. It's just
Didn't Owen want it to count for half a stroke at some point?
yeah. So, I mean, yeah. And it's funny to think now, this is part of history that I didn't know in 2010, but my dad was taught by the same gentleman who worked with Ben Hogan, and that was Alex Morrison in the 30s out of Riverside in California. But I didn't know that in 2010. Like, that died. I didn't have any clue who taught him, and he was my only teacher that I have now. And I think there needs to be. I'm literally coming out with a new book that's going to tie in with the Genius Ball with Matt Rudy, who wrote my unconscious putting book with Ronnie and David Nile, and what our thoughts were. And it's changed. It's changed since the PGA show that I talked about earlier on the show here. Is that I now have an object that's going to allow you to roll it, and you tell yourself, you know exactly you are plus 10 or plus 20, which is not good, and yeah, here's minus 60. People, they open their eyes when they use. I use, but I'll answer your question about when you get to get a putter, make sure you get loft on a putter, and make sure it's balanced. I don't want it heavier in the head or heavier in the grip. I want it balanced, but I want the insert. If you could get an insert that's got grooves in it, because I think the grooves get a hold of the ball and help turn it over. Because you want overspin on a putt, so the ball gets a true roll rather than a cut spin, which is going to make it bounce and slide off the right, which is not a good thing for a right-handed player.
Wow, that's fabulous. I wish they would make the hole just a little bigger, Dave, okay? That's what I'm hoping for.
I bet you it's smaller.
Well, thank you, Dave. What a pleasure. And thank you for your amazing career and for joining us
Absolutely.
today. It's been an honor and a pleasure. And if you come out to the Coachella Valley, we'll go out on the Dinah Shore. How about that course?
Yeah, that's a good golf course. I know that the Champions Tour, of course, I was off the Champions Tour by then, so they came in there. But obviously, I follow a lot of the women we taught out there.
Yeah.
And followed them around. It's a great golf course. In fact, I played a World Cup. Very paid there.
Yeah. What was that? 71? Is that, or what year was that?
That was 77.
77. Yeah.
Maybe it was 71. I don't know, because I was playing with Pate though, and maybe it was, because the second one I had Trevino, and that was in Argentina. Two different times. But
now Trevino,
the Dinah Shore course is just a spectacular venue, and it was way ahead of its time when it built the practice facilities you had, and so everybody liked going there. It's like the tennis facility they have now that they just finished last week playing their tournament. The Coachella Valley's got to be pleased with all the different assets. The Dinah Shore is definitely the jewel of the desert, for sure.
Thank you, Dave.
Fantastic. Dave, thank you so much. Just love to get back with you too on this teaching egg. I definitely want to grab one of these. I think that's something we really want to take a look at for all these amateur golfers who are trying to improve some putting.
Well, you're gonna want to have it. Caddies are gonna want to get it because they can roll it and they're gonna know what the stem speed is on the green. I mean, it's unbelievable what you have to work with. We've never had it before, and like I said, I never paid attention to it because I didn't want to jinx myself. I mean, I didn't want to know. Now I'm kind of fascinated because I can teach people and I use their putter that they're rolling minus 20, and I can take the same putter and roll it minus, let's say, 160 to 180, and even hit 200 sometimes. So it gives people a chance to see where they stand against what can possibly be done with a putter and get one that fits them. That makes sense.
Just one more question. I've interviewed a lot of athletes over the last 40 years, and it's my opinion that baseball pitchers and golfers have the best memory of the moment. Now, I asked Catfish Hunter, what did you throw Carl Yastrzemski the first time you faced him? He said, I threw the first pitch high and outside. He took it for a ball. I threw a curve. The second pitch, he hit it into the westbound lane of the Mass Pike over the wall. I mean, it's just there's just a memory. I mean, is there one shot in your career that you remember as the best shot? I just made my first hole in one in 71 years finally, so I'm relating to that moment. As soon as I hit it, I felt like it had a chance. What's your best shot that you can remember?
Probably when I I was one shot ahead of Sam Snead playing the 18th hole at Riviera in the LA Open in '74, and he tried to needle me on 17. Got on the. He did the darndest thing because on 17 he was outside me about 10 yards. I had 90, he had 100, and well, excuse me, and I was outside, so I hit, or he hit rather, and he walked past my ball. I thought he was picking up his divot, and he never stopped walking. We're right in the same line. And he walks up there, marks his ball, which is about 12 feet from the hole, 10 feet, whatever it was. And he just turned around and stood there. So I'm going, you got to be kidding me. And I knock it on, I miss it, he makes it. So now he's only one down. And so he's on the right side of the tee on 18. So I go to the left. I don't want anything to do with him. And I'll be darned, it didn't take 12 seconds or something. He's right there. He said, Dave, I just want to let you know I birdied the last 2 holes here to beat Hogan in 1951. And I just turned around and I said, well, I wasn't hardly born then, but congratulations to you. He got the message across because he hit it about 70 yards past me down the middle, and I'm up in the hill where they got a plaque. And I thought I was maybe 215 or something, so I could hit my 4-wood. And I had it out of the bag, and my caddy comes back and says, you got 243 into the breeze. And I'm going, oh my God, I'm not sure I can carry a 3-wood over that, trap that's out there that you guys don't even see nowadays. But and Snead is right beside me. He's right by my bag. And I told my caddy, I won't tell you the words I told him to tell Sam to get the hell out of my way. He herded him off like a group of cats. I hit this 3-wood, and I have never hit the green since from there. Knocked it 12 feet, and thank God they didn't have a camera on me because I put my fist under his nose. I said, I guess Mr. Hogan didn't hit it that close, did he? He knocks it on 2 putts, and I hole it and beat him by 2. And then I walked in and told the press everything he did on 17. So that would probably be my best shot.
Oh, wow.
Would have been it.
I asked Sam if he ever lose. Do you ever lose on your home course? He said, well, I'm not undefeated. But what I do is if I do lose, I write him a check, coach. And you know how many of those checks have been cashed? I said, how many, Sam? He said, not a gall darn one.
No. And I think that's BS because I don't think he'd write anybody a check. And I had his number a pretty few times. You talking about a big golf changing in 68. I'd won Cleveland 2 weeks before, and Kathy was still pregnant now with Ronnie coming in, or with David this time. And I get up there, and it's the first $200,000 tournament on our tour, and I beat him by 4 shots and won $40,000. He won 24, which was his largest check on tour for a long time.
Wow.
And yeah, Sam, we never sent Christmas cards to each other.
Dave, God bless you and thank you, and great success with this new product.
Yeah, thanks. It's gonna help a lot of people. I'm very excited. At 84, it's keeping me young. That's for sure.
That's awesome.
Well, Dave, thank you so much again. We'll talk soon.
You got it, guys. Enjoyed being with you.
With host, the pro, and the hack. One's got charts and a game plan. One's got coffee